Hey y'all, it got kind of like hot. It was cold this morning and now it just kind of like warmed up pretty fast. Anyway, that's Georgia for you. Georgia is very much like, what do they call that? Whiplash weather, psychotic weather. I wanted to hopefully make a short video because again, I'm trying to get all my words out on video, mainly for the benefit of my sons. And also because, tomorrow is not guaranteed. And every day we lose people. And that's not to sound morbid, but there is a website that you can go to, World Population Clock. I think it is what it is. Anyways, if you ever look at that and watch it, for me, it's too strong energy. I look at it and it really kind of takes over me because you see the number go up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's such a reminder of while yet there are humans being born, there are humans being taken away. And so because of that, we have to take advantage of the time that we have and being able to make whatever knowledge we have acquired, especially for our family or to our kids, available to them, right? So I'm always thinking about that. I'm always thinking about my boys. I have talked a lot about men and women and things like that in the past videos, but specifically what I want to talk about for this video is specifically there is a topic that I know a lot of people that this can be very controversial, but it's not controversial because of it's just not. It really shouldn't be. But if you are a Christian or a Christian wife or wanting to be a Christian wife, or if you believe in God or you are a Bible reader, whatnot, then you'll know the scripture that I'm about to read to you, okay? Because I have it here. And it's Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33. Nevertheless, each one of you must love his wife as he does himself. On the other hand, the wife should have deep respect for her husband. So there's 2 points that I wanted to kind of bring out with this particular scripture in Ephesians 5:33. First of all, it says, each one of you must love his wife. So clearly, he was talking to men. And he was saying you must love his wife as he loves himself. So the reason why I am bringing that up is because you must have a sense of self. You must have some sort of self-love. When you have real self-love, then you can really take this scripture to heart. And you can really kind of navigate how to love your wife properly. Okay? Or someone you're considering to be your wife. If you don't love yourself properly, meaning as a man, if you don't know yourself, if you haven't taken time to heal your childhood issues, because let's just get real, Satan tries to get to everybody as early as possible. So more than likely you have some sort of self-sabotaging traits or some issues, or just depending on what you grew up with and what kind of trauma you've seen as a child and the kind of parents you have or didn't have or whatever. If you have abandonment issues and scared that people are going to leave you or lose you, or if you're narcissistic, self-centered, you have those traits of being narcissistic, because whatever you have. And let's just, if you're honest with yourself as a man, you probably, even if to yourself, admit what that is. So, in other words, what I'm saying is you need to know yourself. And then actively kind of work to heal those issues. And healing, again, doesn't have to take forever. This is not something that has to take years and years and years. No, actually, a lot of it has to do with just kind of acknowledging the issue and then maybe getting knowledge on it and then practicing what you learn. So, for example, if you are a known people pleaser, then creating boundaries is something that you're going to have to do. And that is likely going to make you feel uncomfortable. But you know that that's something you need to do so that you're not a people pleaser. Creating boundaries, though, for yourself as a man will also allow you to, as you love your wife the way that you love yourself, make sure there's boundaries around her. Either the way she talks to you, the way she treats you, or what she's allowed to do, or the type of woman you even look at in the first place, because you have your own self boundaries in place. Okay, so that's an example of what I mean by when you know yourself enough to know how to love yourself. Okay, enough to where you can be what we call securely attached. That is the goal. Securely attached is where you're not overly scared that person is going to run out and leave you or cheat on you or die or just disappear or whatever. Okay, that's securely attached. And everybody has a meter, right? So you're either avoidantly attached, which means you avoid all your emotions and you are not open emotionally. You don't want to talk about your emotions. You're scared of your emotions and you run away from them. Or any type of argument, things like that, like any type of heated emotions, things like that, you run from them. Okay, that is avoidantly attached. Or if you are the anxious attached, it's where you are always suffocating your partner in a relationship. Always suffocating your partner. Sorry about that, guys. I gotta figure out how to do the pot. Anyway, so if you are a very anxiously attached person, you are the type of person, we see this a lot in women, but believe me, there are men who are like this too, where they are very anxiously attached, meaning they need to call their partner 15 times a day. They're afraid that he's gonna run out and cheat on them or leave or whatever, and they're very anxious. They're gonna do things like overreact to the slightest difference in plans or whatever. They hold on too tight, even when a relationship is bad, or even if a relationship is no good, even when a relationship is toxic, they're going to tend to hold on, okay, because they are anxiously attached. Okay, so the goal is to be securely attached, to where you can let go of a relationship, people, things, places, whatever, that are not serving you appropriately, that are not good for you, that are not serving your highest good or the other person's, right? You're not bringing out the best in each other, because we all know that two people don't always bring out the best in each other. Okay, so again, when you know yourself enough to be able to love yourself, because this is what the scripture says, Ephesians 5:33, nevertheless, each one of you must love his wife as he does himself. So if you are a woman watching me today, if you are a lady, if you're looking at somebody and you want to know if you should marry him, one of the things you need to think about is, how does he love himself? How does he take care of himself? And I don't mean like just primping or just good hygiene. I don't mean that. I mean, is he constantly self-sabotaging? Is he constantly self-doubt? Is he victim mentality? Does he have victim mentality where everything is somebody else's fault? Always somebody else's fault, okay? Or it's never his fault. Can he take responsibilities for things? These are all reflections of how he really loves himself, okay? So, because that's important, because how he loves himself is how he's going to love you, okay? And also, how do you encourage him to love himself, okay? Because sometimes men do need a little bit of encouragement to take care of themselves appropriately, to go seek counseling if they need counseling, or, to think about traumatic situations, a death or whatever, in a more deeper way than just, trying to avoid their emotions. I mean, men are very, very, I would say typical like that. Not all men, definitely not all men, definitely not. But to have an emotionally available person and somebody who has a high emotional IQ, to me, is so valuable. It's like valuable to me. It's almost like, I think it's like it's like number one, close to number one. It's way up there on my list. Like, I value that in a man, because most men are really not that way. especially I come to find out, which I didn't really know that until after my late husband passed, and I had to start meeting other men. Anyway, because my dad was very emotionally available, and he was very balanced. So I only ever really saw that growing up. But in any case, it is important for him to love himself first. Because if he loves himself first, okay, he's going to love his wife, his family appropriately by knowing when it's the right time to put boundaries up, or, you know, to create space for the emotional needs when that's the right thing to do, whatever the case, right? He's gonna kind of like be able to understand that, or be able to, you know, adjust to situations and things, because he can do that for himself, or he's taking time to love on himself, right? Okay, so now on the other hand, though, the wife should have deep respect for her husband. Okay, this is what the scriptures say. The wife should have deep respect for her husband. So point blank, if you're a Christian woman, God calls you to have deep respect for your husband. So, you know, I'm really talking to Christian women here, okay? If you are dating somebody that you can't respect, or you have lost respect for, or if you are with somebody or whatever, and you have, you know, you never had respect for him, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You see, because God created the man to actually want to be respected more than loved. I learned this a long time ago when I read the book Love and Respect from Dr. Egrich Emerson. And I read this book like 3 times, but I read it way back before my first husband passed away, a couple years before he passed away, actually. But it has stayed for me. It really helped my relationship, but it also has stayed relevant all these years because it's based on this scripture. It's based on these scriptures right here. It's a whole book on how to show respect to your husband. Now, if you can't show respect to him, or you don't want to show respect, or you don't have respect, okay, in all honesty, you should consider letting him go. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but all you're going to do is be in a relationship where the two of you are going to be suffocating each other, irritating each other, aggravating each other, irritating your souls, okay, because for most men, at their core, they need to feel respected. It is so important. And if they feel like you don't respect them, they really don't care as much about love. They really don't care if you love them or not. Every man, when you ask them, for the most part, they're always going to say, I'd rather be respected than loved. Now, women, on the other hand, we'd rather be loved, right? But that's why the scripture says, love your wife. Okay, he told the men to love your wife for that reason, because he knew, Jehovah God knew he designed the man to, you know, want to be respected more. And a man might give you respect and forget to give you love, or is lean more towards being respectful to you, but not necessarily showing love, okay? You understand what I'm saying? God created the woman. He knew that we were more emotional. We had more hormones. And for most of the time, most women, not all women, but I say most women, we find it if we are in love with you, we find it very easy to love. I say most women, I mean, I know, you know. But I mean, if I love somebody, the love just pours out, okay? But when we are emotional, our emotions can sometimes get the better of us and cause us to act disrespectful. So let's see what AI says, what Google says about showing respect. Okay, it says a wife can show respect to her husband by actively listening to him, valuing his opinion, acknowledging his efforts with appreciation, respecting his personal space, engaging in his interests, communicating openly and honestly, maintaining a positive and supportive attitude towards him, essentially treating him with the same courtesy and consideration she would want in return. Okay, so it says again, active listening, pay full attention when he speaks, avoid interrupting, and show genuine interest in what he has to say. Compliment his accomplishments, express gratitude for his contributions, and let him know when you appreciate him. Respect his boundaries. Give him personal space when needed, and avoid checking his phone or belongings without permission. Oh, that's funny. Because a lot of these young, immature girls out today, I mean, you see this all the time. You hear about it, you see about it, it's just constant. You know, they're like, give me your phone, and they be putting, I mean, if you go on Instagram, you're literally going to see, track your man's phone, and download this, and download. Ugh. Just the thought and idea that I'm going to have to track my man's phone, it literally just makes me, I think I'd rather just, I really would rather give up on the relationship. Honestly, that's just where I'm at, because that means I already have lost respect. Somehow, some way, I've lost trust and respect already. And for me, I think I would rather just hang it up, okay? Because I can't be bothered with tracking anybody, like tracking and looking at who he's talking to and all that kind of stuff. I just can't do it. I just can't. I'd rather be like, go on ahead and talk to her. Bye, Felicia. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know why. I just don't want to be doing that with my time. I just have so many other things I'd rather be doing with my time. I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend my time. I want to make memories. I want to make good memories, fun memories, loving memories. I don't know. And if I feel like he wants to go somewhere else to make memories, goodbye. Go do it over there. I'm not doing that. So, but this is a boundary. This is like a common, just like it should be just common sense. Okay. But anyway, it says respect his boundaries, give him his personal space when needed, avoid checking his phone or belongings without permission. Engage in his hobbies, show interest in his activities, participate in them with him when possible, or as long as they're legal, because if they're illegal, then that might not, no. Okay. Considerate communication. Watch your tone of voice, avoid criticism, and speak respectfully even when disagreeing. This was something huge I had to work on, was my tone of voice, because I am naturally very dramatic when I speak. And I mean, I won't necessarily speak disrespectfully or anything like that, because I've learned, but my tone is definitely something I constantly have to watch. And a lot of times for me, that's when I will say, I need a minute. Because I'm afraid I won't be respectful right now. I need a minute. Okay. But anyway, it says trust and support. Believe in his abilities, offer encouragement, and stand by him through challenges. Respect his decisions. This is huge for men. Huge for men. Okay. Respect his decisions. Even if you disagree, acknowledge his right to make choices and avoid undermining him. This is huge. Ladies, this is huge. Okay. So if you can't do this, if you can't show respect by doing this for him, most men will eventually leave your butt. Okay. Because they literally cannot grow in an environment like that. And this is so important to understand. Even when we don't agree with the decisions, it's almost like, okay, it's your decision and I don't agree with it. I think blah, 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 but you do whatever you want to do and you'll have to deal with these consequences of that. Now, if he had a parent or a mother who never allowed him the opportunity to exercise the ability to, make his own choices, make his own decisions, or, to breathe, love into him and belief, yes, son, good job. I'm proud of you. I love you. Look at you. Good job. Give me a hug, high five, whatever. And I say mother because the mother will represent his future wife. Typically, most men tend to be attracted to somebody similar to their mother. So this doesn't always happen, right? This definitely does not always happen. Or they may somehow be attracted to the worst version of their mother. Sometimes that happens, But this is a very unconscious thing, right? So, if you do this for your son and you allow your son and you respect your son, even in this way, appreciating his efforts around the house and respecting his boundaries and things like that, then he will likely want to look for a wife that can do the same, who will do the same. Okay. So that's why this is so important, to start off young with your boys and whatnot. But in a marriage and in a relationship, most men will tell you they value respect more over love. And most women will say they value love more over respect. Now, you can look this up on YouTube. It's called Love and Respect Ministries, but the book is from Dr. Egret Emerson. And yeah, there's like a lot of clips and things like that on YouTube. It's a really good book to read and to try to apply. I think it really can be a great secret sauce, or a great book to use in your marriage as a guideline. If you are a godly wife, if you are trying to be a Christian wife, if you're not, it's still good information, but you may want to argue that this scripture. But this particular scripture in Ephesians, it says the wife should have deep respect for her husband. It doesn't say the husband needs to earn respect. Now, the husband can lose respect based on his actions and based on his behavior. He can absolutely lose respect. Okay? And then it becomes a situation where you're having to fake and front and pretend that you respect somebody. And that's hard. Nobody can pretend and wear a mask for very long, right? It just doesn't work. Or you end up spending most of your day completely away from each other, trying not to see each other so that you don't have to wear a mask, right? But you don't want to have to do that. The point is that you find a man that you actually can respect. You can respect what he does for a living. You can respect the way he treats his family, or the way he treats his mother, or you can respect, the way he talks to you. You can respect the way he treats his neighbors. You can, see him, if he's in a community or whatever he does, that he's not stealing or, just doing things, maybe he's smoking up too much or getting high too much or doing coke, and selling coke or whatever, all those things that, are illegal, things that are not becoming of any kind of husband. Okay. And I'm not passing any judgment. I'm just saying, okay, I know for me, I don't want that. Okay. I respect an upright man, one who wants to be upright with God, and one that he can implement boundaries for himself and for others around him. And he can stand up and be firm, either about his feelings or about whatever, and be able to be honest about his feelings and be able to stand up for whatever is right, or whatever, for his rights, or whatever, for his family, things like that. Like, be able to speak up and not cower to anybody, including like his mother or like anybody else, somebody else. Okay. And so that's important, because if he can do that for himself, he'll be able to do that for the family. Okay. And then I know for me, that makes it easier for me to be able to show deep respect. Right. But if he doesn't do that, the Bible doesn't say, okay, now you can show disrespect. No, that's not acceptable either. Okay. So it's one of those things where it's like the two really need to work hand in hand. He must love his wife as he loves himself. So the key to that is, how does he love himself? And she must show deep respect. Whether or not she wants to or not, she should have deep respect for her husband. If she doesn't have that or can't feel that, then I suggest you take a step back and really think about if you want to continue living a life wearing a mask and faking, or being triggered by somebody who is aggravating your soul. Okay. Because I've been there. I understand, because what it becomes is it's just a battle, a never ending battle. If you can't show him deep respect, but a man really needs to feel respected, okay, and you can't give him that, nothing is going to be right. I mean, nothing. And I'm talking about in a real relationship, a loving relationship. I'm not talking about in a wham bam, thank you ma'am, or just a side hoe, a side chick or whatever, where the man only wants one thing. No, I'm talking about in a relationship. Because that man is not going to want to even lay down with you if he feels like you don't really respect him. Okay? Deep down inside, he's going to start harboring resentment. And he's going to start planning his escape route. Okay? He's going to need to get out. Because there is no man who wants to live like that. And the only ones that I know that do usually have reasons, like kids or something, codependency, something like that. But even then, it's not healthy. None of it's healthy. It's still fake. It's all fake love. Like, he's not happy, she's not happy, nobody's happy. And I mean, me personally, I'm not wasting my life, making bad memories. I want to make good memories, happy memories, okay? Because we don't know how long we have. Every day is a gift. And I know for me, every day, I'd rather choose to be happy and in a loving, calm, respectful relationship. Okay, that was it for now. Bye.